We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. You know, we literally couldn't ease back into being off for the holiday season. It's the holiday season. Da, 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 da. Boy, I love doing this fucking show at 7 o'clock. God, it's good to be back, baby. It is really good to be back. We have not been on the show in a week. So we've been off for a week, and now we're back. So we do got a lot to catch up on. So obviously the first one, if you're just missing it and you're just tuning in, Kayshon Boutte has announced that he is going and entering his name until the NFL draft. It was reported earlier today. Well, not technically reported. It was mentioned on a message board and sent to me that some people said on other message boards that are media members that Kayshon Boutte broke team rules and then said he wasn't playing in the bowl game and now saying he's entering the NFL draft. Then you have Jack Besh out here who's now sending crying face emojis on Twitter. A lot of people are going to say this is Jane Daniels' fault, but if those reports were ultimately true by very known and renowned media members, then I don't know. But Kayshon Boutte leaving does not change my thought process or anything about LSU or its future. Obviously, you got Aaron Anderson that comes in, and you probably always were expecting Kayshon Boutte was entering the draft. Anyway, it's not changing where we are, at least not where I'm at for LSU. So we do got a lot to catch up on. LSU gets some big-time recruits. Denver Harris commits since we have been off. Also, you had Zy Alexander from Southeastern, who was a big-time playmaker, who also committed as well and will be on LSU's roster next season. So we'll catch up on some of that. And I see my man's already in here. We do have some guessing coming up. But what does it mean that JD's returning? I'm sure we'll get into this debate tonight. Obviously, with him returning, people are going to blame him for Kayshon Boutte leaving. Not the case. Kayshon makes his decision. You've seen the antics from Kayshon. And look, the God's honest truth is the truth is the truth. We'll get into that because everybody's blaming Jaden, but you have nothing to say to Brian Kelly, right? You don't have shit to say to Brian Kelly about Kayshon Boutte leaving yet. You say it's Jane Daniels' fault. Well, newsflash to everybody that's in here. Brian Kelly had to have had a conversation with Jane Daniels and had to have convinced him to come back or wanted him to come back for him to be here. So you saying it's Kayshon Boutte leaving is Jane Daniels' fault, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. We'll talk on it. But we do have a big guesting list here tonight as Carter the Bryant, who normally joins us on Mondays, joins us at 7:30. And gotta be honest. I'm really looking forward to this one too. LSU QB commit Colin Hurley, the 2024 five-star quarterback commit, will be joining us at 7:45 Central Standard Time. Well, I got a lot I want to ask him. Maybe he'll give some LSU fans a little bit of ease about the news that they just got that you have Colin Hurley on the way. We'll touch on that. And LSU basketball opens up conference play here tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN2 against Arkansas. Going to be looking forward to that one. And let's see what the Matt McMahon regime can do. All right, we do have Pooh Bear and Zach with us, guys. It's going to be a massive night. So I guess let's get to it. Let's get to some of these comments, though. However, Gregory Ford says, give that number 7 to Harold Perkins. I don't really mind that if I'm being honest with any of you. I don't mind that one at all. To be point blank and frank with you, I don't mind that at all. Now, I mean, does he want it? Is he going to take it? I don't, I don't know that holistically or right now, But what I will tell you is he would look good in number 7. Let's see if they give it to him. Spectrum Wellcare says, is LaTerrence Wells still on the team? He is still on the team, but let's see what happens with him. I mean, hell, he's got to play. I mean, look, we don't go to practice. Brian Kelly does not allow the media to go to practice like we did during fall camp. So I have not seen him at any practice. So we'll see. But he's got to play. What's crazy is LaTerrence Welsh has to play on Monday. So you can enter the portal, but you're going to be playing. Paul Sharp says, Jack Bass tweeted laughing face emojis. What's up with that? Well, I think you know what's up with that. I think that you know what's up with that, right? So, I mean, obviously he moved on because he was playing the slot, and so was Kayshon Boutte. It's just the truth. You know it, and I know it. TJ, our good friend over at Double Fries No Slaw, says, Blake, is it too early to start previewing FSU and LSU? Yes, way too early. Way too early. But they did get a big defensive line commit and Braden Fisk this past weekend, so it's really big to them. Really big for them because now they get some guys in the interior that can do some things. Really massive for them. Curtis Lambert says, I've noticed that when 7 goes to an offensive player, they have mediocre seasons. Only 2 are Giles and Boutte. Listen, let's just get this out of the way really quickly. A number doesn't define you as a person. Okay? Wearing number 7 does not define you as a person. There's no superstition on a number. If there is a superstition on a number, break it. What's crazy is LSU hadn't beaten Alabama at home since 2010. They did it year 1 under Brian Kelly. Kayshon Boutte leaving does not bother me at all. If what they're saying is true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm guessing Pooh Bear says DJ Chark and Leonard Fournette. Right. I mean, those guys didn't suck. Now, you could say Leonard had a difficult season his last year when he was injured, but, I mean, come on, man. Come on. I don't know if what do you count Derek Stingley? I mean, do you count Derek Stingley in that? I don't know. A number doesn't define you as a human. It just doesn't. So if he wants to wear it, if he doesn't want to wear it, who really gives a flipping Rudy Poo? Dylan on Facebook says, I went to high school with Zy, all-around athlete, played quarterback at Louisville. Yeah, he did. 6'3" corner. We'll talk about this on some things that we missed on. 6'3", 185 corner. Obviously, guys, you know that Southeastern's my alma mater. I've watched this kid probably a good bit and watching what he does. He's not going to get outrun. He's a really, really fast corner, long corner. Has made some ridiculous catches against Power 5 opponents and interceptions. Had 9 interceptions the last 2 seasons. Southland Conference Player of the Year, or should have been Southland Defensive Player of the Year. They didn't give it to him, but he was the best player on defense every time that he touched the field. So LSU gets him. So I think that's a massive addition, a very massive addition there. Bill on YouTube says, Blake Wheat, the heck is going on, or probably what the heck is going on with Boutte? Y'all just going to have to ask him, man. I mean, I do not, at the current moment, I do not know other than what some have said. Now, is it true? Is it realistic? I don't know. But like this comment says, Bayou Chubbs, who Bayou, I like you, buddy, but he says Jack Bash leaves, Kayshon leaves. At some point, we got to address why. Stop defending JD5. Let's dig into why, Blake. If you want to dig into why, Bayou, it's not JD5. Kayshon Boutte had a shitty season. Let's call it what it is. He led the team in drop passes, and you're blaming Jaden. You know what you should be blaming? Let's dig into it then. You can blame Jaden all the live long day. The guy that makes $100 million, the guy that makes $10 million a year, probably, hint, hint, wink, wink, sat down with him, meaning Jaden, and told him he wanted him to come back. If he did not want Jaden to come back, he would have told him to walk. Don't lead the team in drops. Bottom line. This is, I like you, bud, but with all due respect, you can blame anybody in the live long day. Every single decision that gets made is based off what your head coach does. And if you're mad that Kayshon Boutte left when you're adding Aaron Anderson and Shelton Sampson and Jaylen Brown, I'm sorry to tell you, you're wrong. And then you got Dwayne official. Blake, stop defending JD5. Guys, I'm not defending him. Let me tell you something about everybody in this chat. I know a lot of you, Dwayne official being one of them, when Kayshon Boutte pouted against Florida State, Dwayne, you were in this chat. You were in this chat blaming, saying he was a crybaby and a titty baby. You said that. Now it's, oh no, what's going on? It's Jaden's fault. You know what? If Jaden leaves, Jaden leaves. If he leaves, he leaves. You know, with half the shit that he puts up with, I don't know why the fuck he doesn't leave. Now, we're going to have a quarterback on the show at 7:45. Okay? The fan base. Okay. Here we go. It's going to be all night. This right here is going to be all night. I'm not riding with anybody. But you're blaming Jane Daniels on a Brian Kelly decision. Stop getting in your feelings. And you want to say, I'm in my feelings, and I'm defending him. Okay? Brian Kelly makes the decision. You guys understand that. Here's what else happened. You won the West when you weren't supposed to win 7 games. So you're going to blame people, blame the head coach, blame the guy that makes $9.5 million a year, why won't you? Blame him. But you're blaming a quarterback who it's not his ultimate decision. With all due respect to Jaden, I think Jaden has to look, the truth, what you're saying and what some of you are saying is absolutely true. Okay? Jaden has to throw the ball down the field. Okay? Guys, we're going to skip the first break. This is what we're going to do. We're going to skip the first break. We're going to get it at Carter. First off, everybody hit the like and share. Share to all those social media groups. Let's stop right quick. If you're listening to us, if you're on Facebook, stop what you're doing. Hit the like and share. Share to all those Facebook groups. If you're listening to us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. Okay? If you're listening to us on XM Radio, tune in wherever you listen to podcasts. There's over 700 of you in here live total. Do us a favor. We need 700 likes right now. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, likes and shares. Share it to everything. Hit the like and share. Let's get to the Bet Online break when Carter gets in here. So let's talk about it since everybody wants to talk about this. Now we had so much more we needed to talk about. Ali Gay leaving, all this kind of things, foregoing the bowl game, whatever. Brian Kelly ultimately makes this decision with Jayden Daniels coming back. You can blame him all you want to. You can say he's got to throw the ball down the field. Now, let's stop right there. You're accurate. He's got to get better at hitting receivers when they're open. Nobody is going to argue you on that point. No one. No one will argue you on that point. You're right. But quarterbacks can and players can get better in a complete and total offseason. Now, if I had the ability to talk to Jayden Daniels, and I'm assuming that this was going to get clipped and sent to him. If I had the ability to talk to Jayden Daniels, Jayden, screw the fan base. Screw everybody who's going to say whatever they want to say about you. Come out here and prove them wrong. That's the bottom line. You won the SEC West as a starting quarterback at LSU. Go do it again. Go win the SEC. Make the playoff. Do you have things you got to do better? You know it. I know that you know it because I know that you've told staff members of things that you got to get better at. That's great. Go do it and let's get it done. But this whole thing and this whole offseason of you blaming Jaden Daniels after you won the West, guys, there wasn't one person in this chat. I know this for a fact because I monitor every freaking episode. Not one of you were coming to this show saying we were winning the West. None of you. The guy that won you the West, you got to give the ability to. Now, what you haven't done and what nobody's going to do, and guys, if this ultimately gets reported, Pooh and Zach, if you see this get reported on Twitter, and Twitter's acting crazy right now, but if you see it reported, put it up here. But there were things being said today that he broke team rules. Is that true? I don't know. I can't confirm that. And I'm not going to confirm that because I had not heard that. But you do have people that were out there doing it. So the way that I see this right now is that you have somebody reporting that Kayshon Boutte violated team rules. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. I don't know. He says he's not playing in the bowl game. Then after he said he was coming back, he left. Are you honestly really shocked? I will be a little honest. I think it's the most least shocking thing that we've seen. I was more shocked that he came back than anything else. Okay, just making sure. But I was more shocked that he announced that he was coming back than him staying. So, Blaine Smith says social media is toxic. It's so negative. It's not a real place. It's not a real place. Bayou Chubbs said he took Jack Besh's spot because you're deep at receiver. So let's go through it. Shelton Sampson comes in. Brian Thomas is here. Malik Neighbors is here. Aaron Anderson is here. Jaylen Brown is here. Landon Ibieta is here. You have a very, very talented wide receiver room right now. You are extremely talented at the wide receiver position right now. We had gone through the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Here's the truth. The truth is that Kayshon, whether you like it or not, Brian Kelly had to answer questions every single week about his relationship with Kayshon Boutte. Every single week. He missed a game, rightfully so, because he has his child is born. Got a lot going on, okay? There have been issues this entire offseason. You know, Brian Kelly comes in, Kayshon Boutte's refusing to rehab. At some point, this has got to go on Kayshon. But you can blame anyone all the live long day, but you're blaming somebody else whose decision it wasn't. What's funny to me is Ali Gay, it was announced, Saturday or Sunday? Ali Gay, who is a fifth-year senior, announced that he's not going to be playing in the bowl game. He's going to get ready for the draft. You guys, a lot of you guys dogged the shit out of Ali Gay, saying, oh, well, he wasn't good, or whatever the case may be. Oh, well, he didn't even finish out the season. He's a quitter. A lot of you are inside the chat and inside the comments doing that. So when Jaden Daniels decides to return and then Kayshon Boutte leaves, you're praising Kayshon for flip-flopping on you versus somebody else. Let's act for just a second. Let's just act for just a second. This kid's name's not Jaden Daniels. Let's act like it's Walker Howard for just a quick second. And Walker Howard threw the ball to Jack Besh more than he threw the ball to Kayshon, and Kayshon's pouting. Sometimes, and what a lot of you have asked for, is for a culture change. Sometimes to have a culture change, means you got to get bad personalities. And I'm not saying Kayshon is. I don't think that he is. I don't think Kayshon's a bad kid. I don't think he's a bad personality. I don't. But when you change a culture and that person or player doesn't fit that winning culture or that culture in general, sometimes they have to walk. But do not get it twisted that this kid made a decision, he went back on it. If he made a decision about coming back, guys, let's be real. Let's be real on this too. Do you really believe that Kayshon Boutte made a decision? Do you really think he made a decision about coming back without knowing that there was a very strong possibility that Jaden was returning? So we'll spend the entire show and the entire night talking about that when we have a 5-star quarterback coming up at 7:45. I'm watching all of your comments. Zay Witt says, Eiley Gay leaving is irrelevant. I don't care about it. Zay, it doesn't matter what you care about. It does not matter what you care about. When the fan base is saying what they're saying, it doesn't matter what you care about. Well, I care about this, so that's what you should be doing. All right. We do got a lot more to get into, guys. All right, so Denver Harris does commit to LSU. Look, LSU, we had talked about this at length. I know that there had been a worry from you guys and a lot of people in reference to LSU being down at corner. Well, we're going to see on Monday, which isn't that far away, they will probably only have 4 scholarship DBs and corners that will be available. Denver Harris and Zy Alexander give you that ability to come in and start right away. So I think it's a good addition to get Denver Harris. I think he's a guy that you saw at Texas A&M that would have been a freshman All-American, okay, until he had some issues. Can Brian Kelly and LSU surround Denver Harris with some good ability and some good things going on around LSU to put him back on the right path? Zy Alexander is a kid that I think of the world of. I think he's going to come in and start right away. Okay, that's my opinion. He's going to start out of talent. He's also going to start out of necessity because you just don't have a lot of experience there. Now, Zy Alexander from Southeastern Louisiana has gone up against some really good wide receivers and played at a very high level when the competition rose for him, meaning when they play group of 5 teams, when they play Power 5 teams, he didn't have passes caught on him. It was a very real rarity that would happen. And then when they start throwing his way, the kid, all he did the last 2 seasons was have 9 interceptions. Has elite ball skills. Is tall enough. He goes up at the highest point. Long, fast. I honestly feel like he's just a tall wide receiver playing corner who has extremely great ball instincts while in the air and really is a willing tackler. A lot of people have a problem with his weight. Has not slowed him down in the Southland Conference so far, but this isn't the Southland Conference. This is the SEC. He's definitely going to have to work on that. Zay says FCS DBs never work in the SEC for us. Well, you say for us. I mean, at some point, guys, I'm not answering this dude's thing anymore. But I think it's two really good additions. Very good additions. Now, you add a couple of guys along the defensive line. I know that we had talked about some of them, but you're adding pieces along the defensive line, obviously, and probably one of the funnier names at LSU, Jordan Jefferson. How crazy is it that they got a Jay Lee from Florida in the portal to sign with LSU, and LSU got a defensive tackle also named Jordan Jefferson? I know. But Jordan Jefferson from West Virginia, a nose tackle, defensive tackle, had 9.5 tackles for losses, which is a lot for an interior guy, especially a nose tackle, is going to come in and play right away. Guys, a lot of these dudes are going to have to play right away. It also gives guys like Mekhi Wingo a little bit of a break in between playing some of these snaps. So I thought LSU had some really good portal transitions and portal pickups over the last week since we've been on the show. So, look, we've had a lot. We've talked a lot. Oh, man. Didn't even get to our first break, but we do have Carter the Power Bryant that's in here. So, look, guys, let's do this. Let's pay some quick bills. Let's talk about the Kayshon Boutte stuff. Let's talk about everything. Let's talk about it with Carter the Power Bryant next. We got more to talk about it with him too, but we'll talk about him. We'll be back in a minute. More discussion about LSU coming up. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first to market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. We're back. We're back.
Oh, my God.
Carter, the Power Bryant joins us. What do you want to say? I mean, look, there's over 700 people in here total, on radio, on live. What, Kayshon Boutte? I mean, take the floor away. What we got?
Yeah, so first thing is Blake has a really big guest. So I'm pretty excited to see what Colin Hurley has to say. And yeah, y'all should really listen in. Colin Hurley gives a great interview. Yeah, obviously this is a good and bad thing, Blake, because the decision that Kayshon initially made, practically, let's just say you're not an LSU fan, you might be watching this. Or if you are an LSU fan and you're watching this right now, look at this objectively. This was not a good decision for him to return to LSU. He is a lock to go in the first round of the NFL draft.
I don't agree with that.
I strongly disagree with that. I think I do.
I strongly disagree with your disagreement.
I do. I really, really, really do, because I think, number one,
he got a second round grade.
Yeah, but I still think he's going to go in the first round for a few reasons. The first thing is a lot of receivers go in the first round, right? The only receiver right now that I would objectively take over him is Quentin Johnson of TCU. And look, and Blake, you know me pretty well. Like, Kayshon's not like my favorite LSU wide receiver ever. I'm just saying he had an early breakout age. He has got elite measurables. Did he regress this year? Yeah, there was a lot of different reasons why he regressed this year. Was he as dominant as he was in years past? No. There was a lot of different, rumors and reports on him and his rehabilitation. And obviously, coming back from the ankle injury was one thing. But if you have an early breakout age and you have the freak athleticism that he does have, I think he'll go in the first round. And if not, somebody's going to get a T. Higgins, Michael Thomas level player in the second round. I think Kayshon's going to have a great NFL career. And Blake, I don't just say that about every LSU player, right? I think he's making the right decision. If we are just looking at this, even if he did have a second round grade, it's still, the right decision, because he's still going to be a top 50 pick. I have a hard time believing he's going to fall off here. But the second thing, Blake, is
top 50 pick. I don't think that's falling off. That's still a second round grade.
It's still really good, right?
Right. Like, let's not. Don't mistake what I'm saying to saying Kayshon stinks.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
No,
what I'm saying is, I do think that so here's my thing. There's gonna be blame given to people or peoples that, let's call it what it is. It's not Jane Daniels' fault that the guy that guy announced he was coming back and then he said he was leaving.
Right.
It just isn't. So regardless, and ultimately, Carter, the truth. Okay, the truth is Jane's taking the beating for ultimately Brian Kelly's decision. If Brian Kelly did not want Jane Daniels to return, he did not have to bring him back.
Right.
Okay.
And just by Brian Kelly, releasing the statement here, I don't know if you just saw it.
Yeah, so let's read that really quickly, Carter,
Yeah,
so the fans who have are listening and they hadn't seen it. Brian Kelly just announced about 13 minutes ago. He says, "We support Kayshon in his decision. He went through and a thoughtful process and ultimately decided this was in his best interest. We appreciate all that he did during his time at LSU and wish him well."
Yeah, so as you can see, it was somewhat, not necessarily mutual. It was always Kayshon's decision, but it was understandable on both parties. This is how I feel, Blake. The game of football, you've been in, college locker rooms before. I think it's such a mentally taxing sport that if you really feel somebody has one foot out the door already, it is better for that person to go. If you are not mentally fully locked in on getting LSU to a national championship game and you're focused about what's next, such as the NFL draft, it's not healthy for you to continue to play, right? Especially at a position like wide receiver. So, that's another thing, right? If Kayshon was teetering on the decision whether or not to come back for the extra year, if he was 50-50 and it was going to be a thing where he was always thinking about the next thing, which, let's be honest, you do if you're a big time prospect like he is, you want him to go, right? Now, would he make LSU's wide receiver? If now what I'm saying here is not Kayshon isn't good enough to play wide receiver at LSU. It's just he might not be the best fit if he's mentally ready to go to the next level, right? And I think that was the case here. Now, there could be more factors at play. We all have our own theories about what has actually transpired here in the past 24 hours. I won't share any because there's a lot of different factors here. But the bottom line is, if you were an independent draft analyst, if you're somebody advising Kayshon here, you've played 3 years, you have an injury history, go get paid. Go make money. Go do what you got to do. And if that's what Kayshon wanted to do, it's fine by everyone here. But at the same time, this decision, did it hurt LSU in the long run? No. I know some people are going to say, well, Jack Bech might have come back. If
I'm Jack Bech, I'm pretty ticked off, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I would be.
And if I'm LSU, to be a little truthful, if I'm LSU, I would be a little, like, hey man, we based a lot of our decisions. So there is an example of there were a lot of transfer portal guys. Now they took Aaron Anderson. However, do you look at take someone else?
There were others. There were other LSU. There were really good wide receivers in the SEC.
Xavier Thomas comes to mind.
And then even better ones. And you know how good I think Xavier Thomas is. Lovin and Ra Thomas were in the portal as well. And those guys go to Georgia, right? It does hamstring you when you think somebody is going to play and he makes this decision here. So while we are happy for Kayshon making this decision, I think you're happy. I think I'm happy. I
am happy for him as an individual.
Right.
Correct.
Let's not absolve him of responsibility here, right?
Exactly.
This was a very bizarre day. This was a very, very bizarre day. Out of nowhere, you get a statement that, and you're hearing from people that he's enrolled in classes, and there was
LSU. I mean, with all due respect to LSU, Carter, and I don't mean this wrongly to them, and I'm probably going to get a slap on the wrist for this one. They sent it to us in the email. And they sent it to us saying he was enrolled in classes, which also makes me believe that this decision was made today.
I think so. Why
was it made today?
I just think he got frustrated. I really do. Like it's just one of those things where, I think he wanted to go, and for some reason he decided to come back. And it's tough, right? You have a tough decision to make when, in the grand scheme of things, this wasn't a tough decision. You're a big time wide receiver that's going to play in the NFL for a very, very long time. Obviously, Kayshon has a close emotional tie to LSU. The proximity to LSU where he grew up and all the emotional past year here. And, the way that you say, hey, I'm coming back and now I'm not, it is hard. It is hard not only on him, but it's hard on the staff, right? There are so many recruiting staffers that rely on personnel decisions about whether or not you're going to stay or you're going to go. And the thing that's very interesting about wide receiver, Blake, is that it is a volume position. Guys want touches. And with Kayshon coming back, that's minimum 60 targets, bare minimum 60 targets that are going to him that are now that could have gone to somebody else. Now it's wide open.
It could have gone to Jack Bech. And honestly, Carter, we talked about this last week, which now will have to go to Aaron Anderson and others. And look, I made that statement last week, about Aaron Anderson. It doesn't seem too foolish now. But listen, we can make the decision, or we can talk about Kayshon Boutte all the live long day. But what's going on in this chat right now is a little bit foolish. He knew his decision. He knew that he could have waited. And if I'm Jack Bech, I'm a little bit upset. However, there were some other decisions made. LSU made some big key pieces and pickups in the transfer portal since we last talked. Denver Harris. Obviously, everybody knows about the former 5-star DB. Obviously, too, Zy Alexander from Southeastern Louisiana. Line up, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Carter, they went out and got 2 starting corners and 2 guys that I think that can really play. We all know about Denver Harris and Zy to some extent. I guess, what are your thoughts about getting him and the nose tackle from West Virginia and Jordan Jefferson?
Shout out Jordan Jefferson. So I've actually already.
It's not funny, by the way. If you missed the Power Hours tweet saying, "Oh, look, he's coming back," puts a picture of Jordan Jefferson, number 9, Jordan Jefferson, the QB, saying he's coming back to play DT. It wasn't funny. I giggled.
I'm glad you did, because a lot of people took that as like a disrespect to Jordan Jefferson.
Which one?
I mean, the original, the OG.
Oh.
And guess what? I like Jordan Jefferson. Like, he wasn't an abysmal quarterback. LSU's had far worse quarterback play.
Right.
And with the revisionist history, we see how difficult it is to be a quarterback under Les Miles. I was fine with Jordan Jefferson. Was he a great quarterback? No. But obviously he was a good mentor to his 2 brothers who were, better players than he was. Obviously one infinitely better than he was. But still, yeah, Blake, I've already graded all the defensive linemen that they brought in, and Jordan Jefferson flashed the most. His numbers were the best, but I did think he was
9.5 tackles for loss, Carter. That's a lot from a nose tackle.
Yeah, I think he'll play a little bit different next year. He was a big time penetrator for West Virginia, and obviously LSU. The scheme is going to be a little bit different, but all 4 of those guys look to be pretty good. I like Parashan from Canada. Shout out Mike Meyer. Shout out Steve Nash.
Canada.
Shout out Drake. But obviously, Denver Harris is I know he's a 5-star and all of that. Blake, I think he's by far the best player that they've brought in here. I think he's going to be a really good corner for LSU. Now, obviously, this is what I know a lot of people in the comment section are going to say. What about the off the field stuff? Well, we'll wait and see, right? Obviously, it was a rough year for his first year in College Station, but I don't care about that. The kid can play. I mean, I do care about that, but that's stuff that we can't control. He could play. And when he played for Texas A&M, he was a fine player, and he is on the ascent of his career. He's going to be hopefully focused and locked in. He's going to be a really good player. I loved him coming out, Blake, out of North Shore. So I think he's going to be a really good player for LSU, and I think he'll be the Mekhi Gardner, a guy that will transfer in and start from start to finish.
And so you talk about Denver, Zy Alexander. So listen. 6'3", 185 pounds. A lot of people talking about his weight and tackling. Carl, let's call it what it is. Sometimes you got to go get a corner that might not be the best at tackling and a guy that can lock you down. So obviously I've watched him a lot. You've seen him go up against Power 5 wide receivers, group of 5 wide receivers. Carter, they threw the ball 4 times his way this year. He had 3 interceptions on those 4 targets in those big elite games. Have you watched a lot of Zy Alexander, and what are your thoughts?
Not as much as you have, probably. Obviously, the one-handed interception was freakish. Like, it was ridiculous.
That wasn't even the best one. They didn't clip the best one, but
well, you gotta send me that. I mean,
he caught it off of a dude's back and took it 106 yards, and they got called back.
I want to see it. Yeah, it excites me. Obviously, the FCS corner experiment over the past couple of seasons has been an adventure, to say the least. But hopefully Zy Alexander ends up being a bona fide superstar.
Well, he's not like the Colby Richardson. I mean, Colby didn't play. Okay, Zy has played significant snaps. I mean, he got offered by Miami. He got offered by USC. He got offered by Oklahoma. He got offered by Penn State. I mean, at some point, somebody knows something.
Yeah, I think for me, he's got a good opportunity to start, right? This is a corner room that's wide open. But I want to take the opposite side of this here, Blake, because, bring me on here to give it a little bit of a different perspective. If I'm with Terrence Welsh, I am eating all of this up. I'm eating up all this, these content creators that are saying LSU doesn't have a proven corner. And if I was with Terrence Welsh, I would do what Jamar Chase did. Jamar Chase told me this during the championship year: is write on little Post-it notes and put it on your window every day when you go brush your teeth, or mirror or whatever, and write down your goals and say that people are sleeping on you, because they are. And look, we'll see what he can do next year. But if I were him, I would say, look, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to make it to where people say we don't need transfer corners every year. And hopefully, he takes all of this as motivation and doesn't, allow these transfers to come in and start over him. I think Welsh could be an okay player. Obviously, health is a big thing for him. So we'll see how these other corners deal with this, with these transfers coming in.
All right, last one for you. And about 15 minutes, Kansas, who is putting the smack down on Kansas as we currently speak, I believe, is going to be facing off against LSU. We got 1 minute. You going to be watching this Arkansas LSU basketball game coming up at 8 o'clock?
Oh, basketball? Of course.
Basketball.
I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch the Pels. Very interesting. Juice Hill, his history with Arkansas basketball, his history with Derek Musselman is actually very interesting. I would read up on that. He's going to be very motivated tonight. I don't know if he's healthy. I haven't really been following LSU basketball too closely, but he's obviously going to be very motivated. So yeah, I hope LSU basketball gets a dub. And one thing, Arkansas basketball, they're super athletic. They got a ton of 5 stars, but they can't really shoot from the outside. So let's see if LSU can take advantage of that. And shout out Colin Hurley. I'm really excited to see this interview. I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready to hear what this young man
out of here.
I'm ready to go.
All right, buddy. Thank you. You know that we will see you back in here Monday.
See you Monday. Cheers.
Well, yeah, is Monday New Year's Day? Monday or Tuesday of next week. We'll see you Monday or Tuesday of next week. How about that?
Yeah, we might have to do Wednesday next week because of bowl game and then all of that. It's wild. Yeah. But yeah, man.
But we'll see you next week, no matter what.
All right, buddy.
All right. That's Carter, the Power Bryant. All right. The 5-star man himself, the 2024 LSU QB commit, Colin Hurley, joins us next. But I got to tell you, our good friends, before we get to him, let me tell you about our good friends over at Synergy Resources. Synergy Resources, RESLLC.net. That's Synergy, RESLLC.net. For all your hoses, pipes, fittings, they do it all. Give our good friend Tully a call at Synergy Resources LLC today and let them know that Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. All right, our last break here tonight. We go to Colin Hurley next, but let's talk about our good friend Carol Foss over at State Farm. 45 seconds. We return. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. All right, we are joined by look at my man already representing for LSU. 2024 LSU QB commit Colin Hurley is our guest. Colin, what's going on, man?
How you doing? It's great to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us. That's number one. But number two, I got to ask you. I see the Marino jersey behind you, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you a big Dan Marino fan? What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. No, that's my favorite quarterback of all time. Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad and I are strong Dolphin fans.
Yeah, and they had a tough one. I mean, hopefully, Tua is going to be okay. Let's pray and hope that he's okay. But man, you are in Florida, Dolphins fan. They've had a little pretty good year.
Yeah, it's just constant. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make us the happiest. I'll tell you that.
I got you. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about here in the next 15 minutes or so. Thank you for joining us. Colin, we had a lot of people on our board today. I asked them to fire in some questions, and I know that me and you had talked a little bit off air beforehand, but look, I think the number one question that a lot of LSU people wanted to know more about you individually. I guess, Colin, what makes you you? What are some hobbies that you have? What are some things that you like before we get to all of this LSU talk and about Coach Bryant Kelly and Dim Brock and everybody else?
No, honestly, I'm just a boring dude. No, I'm a house body. I don't go out. I don't party. I don't do any of that stuff. I just like to, play basketball. Like to play some video games. I'll watch some Netflix. I'll chill out with my dad. No, I don't really do too much. Most of the stuff that I do is just related around football. If I'm not playing football, I'm lifting, eating, all the stuff that you would think that an athlete does. That's just what I do. That's what I enjoy doing. Football is very fun for me, and I take it very seriously. And most of the stuff that I do revolves around that.
Colin Hurley, LSU QB commit for 2024 class. Colin, let me ask you, what went into you reclassifying? Can you take us through that decision? I mean, what did you and your parents talk a lot about it? How did that decision go down with you reclassifying to this upcoming class in 24?
No, I really felt like that was the best decision for me. Everybody around me felt like that was the best decision for me. Most people probably don't know this yet, but I played 8th grade football in high school. I actually won a state championship that year. And I honestly don't feel like I'm missing out a year. I feel like Trinity really helped me get prepared to be on this stage, be at the level that I'm at right now. So I really feel like I'm honestly just ready to get out of high school and go take another step in my journey. And honestly, I can't wait to be up there on campus and to bring home a national championship.
So you talk about reclassifying and that decision that you made, and obviously it is kind of real. I mean, we didn't know that you had been in 8th grade. Obviously, you reclassify. LSU fans start really digging in and realizing that your head coach talked about like Trinity had never seen something that you have done, and that's just an amazing feat. So when you do reclassify and you're coming down to your decision, what did ultimately make it LSU for you? And how did Brian Kelly and Mike Denbrock and Joe Sloan, how did they mold that decision for you?
The whole coaching staff at LSU really took me in. I really felt that I was loved there. I really felt like I was wanted there. Just my relationship with the staff was amazing. I was getting recruited by a lot of coaches, a lot of amazing coaches, a lot of amazing players along the journey. I'm really grateful to all of them. I had over 30 offers. I really felt like LSU was the place for me. I really felt like I had a strong connection with this coaching staff, with the town, the fans. I really felt like this was just the place for me to be. And looking at this year, Coach Kelly did an amazing job from where the team started to where it ended. No, he's an amazing coach, and it obviously showed throughout the season. Him moving to the SEC, beating a team like Alabama, a strong team, making it to the SEC championship. And just where the team started and where it finished, that really showed something, and showed in the right direction of where it's going. And I really feel like LSU has a strong chance of winning a national championship for the years to come. So.
Well, I know that you've been really vocal about that. You said a couple times, even in your commitment, that you wanted to come and you want to win national titles. Well, that's something that maybe not national titles, but state titles that you've won in Florida. I guess, Colin, is that something that you've always been built to do? I mean, you talk about wanting to come here and win national championships. I mean, since you've been in 8th grade and being the starting quarterback, is that just something that is ingrained into you? Like, when did that start? When you just like, look, we're coming to win state. We're coming to win natties. Like, when did that start? Did it start when you won the state title the first time, or when did that happen?
Honestly, I felt like it's always been in me. No, winning is a standard in my household. No, that's a standard at Trinity as well, and I really felt like that set me off in the right direction. And playing for a coach like Verlin Dormany, that really helps. He really prepares you for the next level. Playing at Trinity isn't easy. They expect a lot out of you. The expectations are very hard, I'll tell you that. And I know the expectations at LSU are even harder, but I really feel like he's prepared me and Trinity's prepared me to be in the right place. And to really, they've really shown me how to work my tail off, and good things will come out of it. And me being LSU commit, I'm really grateful for that, and I wouldn't have been able to do that with Coach Dormany and the program.
Take me through the decision when you call Brian Kelly. I'm assuming, I don't know this, I'm asking. So asking and want you to bring me through it. When you talk to Brian Kelly and telling him that you're going to commit to LSU, what's that like? Because, Colin, quarterback is such a different position, right? Like, it's not like, look, I played center in college. It's not like the 5 of us committing. It's not like receivers. I mean, it's a quarterback. Take us through that. Like, when you talk to him, and I know that, he can't make it well known right now because, he'd be breaking a violation, but obviously, in some of the pictures that he's able to, have with you and stuff like that, he's cheesing, man. I mean, he's smiling in the ear. But take us through that. What was that conversation like with you and him when you had decided to come to LSU?
Well, I was definitely giving hints to him before. So whenever I hopped on the phone, most of the staff was actually in there, and I broke it out. I told him that I wanted to be a Tiger, and you could just hear the whole room shake. Everyone yelling, everyone's happy. It's honestly a great experience. And I really, at that point, I really felt like that was the right place for me. I really felt loved by that coaching staff. Also the city and the fans, I really felt loved by all of them, and I knew that this was going to be, the best place for me.
Have you've been to Death Valley, obviously, correct? I mean,
yeah. No, I've been 5 or more times already.
What was your favorite moment?
Oh, beating Alabama on that 2-point conversion. Oh yeah.
I don't want to get you in trouble here, so don't answer this question if you get in trouble. Did you partake in an extracurricular activities on the field after? I mean, did you storm it? I mean, what happened?
No, I wanted to let everyone get down first until I fall down the steps. No.
So you didn't do like now LSU DB signee, Javian Taviano. You didn't go full sprint. You just kind of
no.
Like my producer, Pooh Bear, who lost his ever living mind and sprinted down there himself.
Oh no, I did not do that. I did not participate in that activity. I can tell you that.
I hear you. All right, Colin, look, we're not going to keep you too much longer, but just a couple more. And thank you so much for your time. What is something, me and you talked about this a little off air, and it's something that obviously a lot of people talk about in recruiting. You have been very vocal about helping recruit and talking to guys in the 2024 class. You have really cemented yourself right now and really will be through the 24 process as the leader and the guy for LSU making the claim, listen, we're coming to win a national title. I mean, you've been pretty vocal. I mean, I don't want to ask you like take me through the process because I don't want you to tell me what you're telling other kids, but
Yeah.
I guess what's it been like being the face and the leader of that class so far?
No, that's just my job. No, it's nothing new to me. I've been doing it for the past 4 years at Trinity, so it's nothing new to me. No, I'm going after the top guys that want to be a part of this program. No, and if they make a decision somewhere else, I respect that decision. No, my mind doesn't change on them. You know how they are as a person, how they are as an athlete. But I'm going after the guys that want to be a part of this program that I know that are going to make a difference, and athletes that are going to help us win a national championship.
I love it. I love it. All right, I lied. Last one. Favorite place to eat in Baton Rouge when you've been down here? What was it?
Oh,
Did you
walk-ons.
have anything? Walk-ons?
Walk-ons for sure.
Okay. We got.
Sure.
What did you get at walk-ons? What do you like at walk-ons?
I get like the little, what is it, the gator tails.
Oh yeah.
I just get a nice plain burger, and some jambalaya.
I love it. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
it. Is it your first time having gator in Louisiana? I mean, you're in Florida,
Oh, no.
so.
Oh no, not at all.
I
No,
dig
I
it. I dig
I
it.
think every time I go to LSU, we hit walk-ons at least 2 times a day.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Oh,
It's a good place to
it's
be.
that good. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a good place to be, especially one by campus. The OG of
Oh yeah. No,
walk-ons.
that's the one that we hit. That's the one that we hit right there.
I love it. All right, Colin, thank you so much, buddy. You can follow him at Colin Hurley. We will probably have more discussions. You trying to get you back on the show, and I know you got a lot going on. But thank you so much for having us, thank you so much for coming on with us, and we'll have you on again soon.
No, thank you for having me. It means a lot to me.
No problem, man. We'll talk soon. That's Colin Hurley, the LSU 2024 QB commit. What a young man. Wow. And see, you got Brad here saying, all right, Blake, go ahead and let him go. You got Rick saying, we love you already, Colin. Yeah. We do got to do this, Jason Brumfield. Jason Brumfield said you got to get him to go to the Blue Store. This is true. This is absolute facts. Pooh Bear, did you see this? Penn Jones, Blake Pooh didn't sprint anywhere. All right.
First off, Penn, I have you know, my big ass was getting it. As soon as I had a clear path, I was gone. And I'll tell you who beat me down there. Daniel beat me down there.
Head
So
no.
talk,
I mean, really and truthfully,
you can talk.
Hey,
y'all can talk. You can talk all you want. But Daniel, literally, he hopped that the little barrier. I jumped over, and when I looked up, he was gone.
Well, I mean,
hey, that man fast. He said he was the most athletic golden Boutte. I still don't believe it, but he got a strong case after that.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I love you. I love you, but I think I'm gonna go with Ant. I think I'm gonna go with Ant. Is that wrong?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Okay. Lucy B says, "Hey, Pooh Bear."
Hi, Lucy. I pray you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right. Well, look, we're gonna go ahead and end up the show. Thank you, Pooh, for defending yourself.
Thank you.
That. All right. Look, bottom line, this show's been a little wild here tonight. Let me just say this. I've read a lot of your comments. I have read a lot of your concerns. What I will promise you is this. There's going to be things that are going to come out with probably next 24 to 48 hours. It might not even be, what's the word I'm looking for? It might not even be, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be actually reported on. Okay. What I will tell you is be careful what you say about somebody when you don't know the facts. Okay? So Kayshon Boutte made his decision. He's going to stick with that decision, and good on him. But LSU does move on, and they will continue to move on. All right. We got the LSU basketball game. Let's go watch it. We got the bowl game. Did Arkansas win? Arkansas won. All right. And we had our 3-leg parlay. So we're 2-0 in our parlay so far. Taking Duke and Arkansas. Now we have Ole Miss. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Peace out, Girl Scouts.